Hello everyone. So a little late to the note again, but finally got to it. I got my chance to go see No Time to Die. As I'm certain most of you know, this is Daniel Craig's final performance in the role of James Bond. So it started 15 years ago. This is the fifth film in this franchise, and it is also the longest Bond movie that has ever been made, coming in at just about 2 hours and 40 minutes long. So there is a lot to talk about and a lot to uncover in this film. So of course Daniel Craig reprises his role as James Bond, and we have Rami Malek in the titular villain role, but of course Ralph Fiennes is back as M in this. We get lots of Q, lots of Moneypenny, two new agents, a brand new 007 too. And like I said, this is just one big epic conclusion to the Daniel Craig James Bond saga. So without further ado, let me get into my review for No Time to Die. So right off the bat, I do want to say that I have a lot of praise for what this movie was able to achieve in terms of just how technically great it was, and of course Daniel Craig's performance. I know a lot of people want to know how he did, and personally, this could be a little biased, but he has been my favorite James Bond for a long time now. Casino Royale is my personal favorite Bond movie of all time, and after this, that still stays the same. And if I had, or I'll get to that ranking of the 5 Bond films at the end of this video. But he puts on one hell of a performance here, and just the script and everything for him really fit into terms of what Daniel Craig can truly do to this character, in terms of just how emotional and vulnerable they were able to make Bond in all 5 of these films, and especially in this one, and just how he's able to still overcome all of that. And it just makes for a really exciting and personal James Bond story, which I loved from the first 4 movies, and I especially loved in this film. They just do a really good job fleshing out his character, and you get to know him. He's not just more, I find a lot of the other Bond movies is more so you're watching a persona that he has to put on to do the job, but in these Bond films you really get to dive into the psyche of the character, and I love that so much. Yeah, no, just a grand, very, very epic conclusion to what he was able to do as James Bond, and it's definitely going to be really hard for anyone to top him after this, because I love the direction of what these movies went in, and the direction that he took the character of James Bond. Of course too, all of the standout casts I think did really, really well. Of course Moneypenny was great. The new 007 that we have in it, she's amazing too, and Anna D. Adams is freaking fantastic in the short role that she has in this. But I love the performances of everyone, and especially too, a lot of people want to know how Christoph Waltz was, and of course, just like how amazing he was in Spectre, reprises his role absolutely brilliantly, and I wish we would have seen more of him as well. But great performance. And Rami Malek, I'll get to some of my gripes about his character a little further on in this review, but I loved him in this movie. He was really, really good. I wish I would have seen a little bit more, which again I'll touch on, but he played a very good Bond villain, intimidating, and did pretty much everything that he needed to do that the script allowed him to do. So fantastic performances by truly everyone. And in terms of the music, I loved how good it was, but the action, the cinematography, how everything is filmed and edited, I did really find that this is the best made Bond film ever. Just beautiful shots in terms of the action and landscapes that they had to show. Even too, just a lot of shots that show foreshadowing, or just really episodic for Bond. You see his motivation in every single shot from so many different perspectives, and they just really did a great job filming this film. You know, just technically it was very, very well done. The best action the series has ever had, and easily the best directing. Just a beautifully shot and made and edited film. But now getting into the story a little bit. Of course, Bond is in retirement when this movie begins. We truly see him trying his best to start his life and get away from the 00 life. But as we've seen with his character, the amounts of times he's tried to do that, he finds the love of his life, and he's ready to give up the life of being a 00 agent for that in order to pursue his own happiness. He just keeps getting dragged back in because he just has way too deep of history and ties to basically saving the world and stopping other people from achieving their goals. And he will always have a target on his head, and he will never truly be safe. So he has to come back into this life, and he does so because at the beginning of this movie, he has no idea how, but Spectre is hunting him down. And of course, it basically becomes a puzzle game that he has to find out as to how this is, because Blofeld is in the most isolated max security prison that MI6 or even the world probably has. And clues start to reminisce about people from his past potentially being involved, but also another organization starts to take out Spectre in this film, and it starts leading them towards Rami Malek's character, who's the head of a new organization who's just, well, I'll get into it a little bit more again, but the biggest threats that Bond has ever had to face, because the stakes in this are very, very much global, and they would just ruin the world if Rami Malek's character was able to succeed in doing what he needs to. So, of course, that brings him back into the life, and back into the life too of realizing that he's been replaced by another 007 agent, and having to work with MI6 once again to uncover the personal history that he has with what's going on with Rami Malek's character's plot and save the world. I did really like all of the characters in this, but I found that my problems with this movie tends to be that it felt empty in so many ways, and as a franchise you can easily tell where all these 5 movies had their strong and weak points, and of course the weakest has to be Quantum of Solace. I feel like if you got rid of that, they could have flushed out this movie a lot more and potentially even made it into 2 parts that would have really explored Spectre a lot more, and how Rami Malek's organization is able to beat Spectre, because at this point Spectre is almost a force that James Bond was never able to defeat, but these guys make it look so easy in terms of what they're doing. By the end of the film, it's not entirely clear why Rami's character is truly doing what he's doing, and why he has to take out Spectre and, like I said, almost the entire world's population by doing so. There's a little role that it has to do with just existential racism and things like that, but there has to be more to it than that, I've found. And I don't know, it's just a lot of story and a lot of history with mostly Rami Malek's character, but of course with MI6 and just the repercussions of M knowing about a decent chunk of the plot of this movie. I don't want to give it away for spoiler's sake, but he just knows something absolutely huge, and there's no consequences to him, to MI6, to any of the other agents that come on. And I feel like there just could have been a lot more commentary in terms of ethics and humanity and so much that really could have flushed out every single one of these characters, because a lot of them are put on the side bench for Daniel Craig to shine, and he's amazing in the role. But it just, like I said, by the end of this film, even though it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, it felt empty, and it felt like we needed a whole other movie to truly build up these characters and build up to this finale. Because there is some really strong points, and most of it comes from just how this movie was filmed, and pacing wise, like, it is really, really good. It's just so much, like, it just felt like there was big chunks of history and motivations and things like that left out of this movie that truly needed to be there to make Rami Malek's villain interesting and understand him a lot more. He's definitely not the worst Bond villain that we've had in these 5 franchises, and I don't even want to say the word worst, because he is a good villain, and he is kind of a little scary. But I find where a lot of action movies falter is that the means as to what his character was doing to destroy the world, like basically the virus that he has, is scarier than himself. I find a really good villain in any movie, you think, okay, this is terrifying, but what's he going to do next once he's accomplished his goal? And there isn't any of that built to it, since, like I said, we just don't really get to know his motivations. So you're more scared of what he's going to unleash than you are of him himself, and I wish there just would have been a lot more fleshing out there. But truly, this was a really, really good, entertaining Bond film, and I know I'm going to watch it time and time again. And if I had to rank all 5 of these films, I feel like I'm going to have to go number 1, Casino Royale, 2, Skyfall, 3, for now, like, this isn't definitive, but I will put No Time to Die, and then it goes Spectre and Quantum of Solace for me. I just felt like we needed a lot more of No Time to Die, like, maybe even 2 parts of it to truly flush out and make very compelling, interesting, and a story that we could all fully understand. And with all this taken together, I do highly recommend this film. I think casual Bond fans are going to be very, very excited and happy with this film, but it's going to feel a lot, like I said, just empty, and like things were missing for most other hardcore Bond films, and that is why I'm going to give 7 out of 10 to No Time to Die. Still do give it a high recommendation for anyone to go check it out because it is just a fantastically made action film. But if you see No Time to Die, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below, and if you like this movie review, you can check out all my other movie reviews and every other thing that I do on this channel through my playlist down below, and I'll link them up top here. You can subscribe, turn the ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out everything I do live stream and video game wise, there is a link in the description of this video and on my channel to the Media Mountain near Twitch, so you can check out that. And there's also a link in both of those places to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord group, talk about movies, video games, books, TV, comic books. If it's awesome, it's in there. So definitely join that amazing community and help make it even more amazing than it is already. But yes, go check out No Time to Die, and just awesome, guys.